أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The divine challenge of reform and the nature of opposition. Throughout history, divine truth and reform have faced intense opposition. The Quran tells us of the struggles faced by Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Each one was opposed, slandered, and persecuted, yet their suffering was never proof of falsehood. And thus we have made for every prophet an enemy from among the guilty. But sufficient is your Lord as a guide and a helper. Quran 25:31. Those who opposed the prophets and Mujaddids did so not because of any flaw in their message, but because reform threatens the status quo. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad faced the same resistance as past reformers because his mission challenged the corruptions introduced into religion. The Quran explicitly warns that messengers and reformers will always face opposition. Alas for my servants, there comes not a messenger to them but they mock him. Quran 36:30. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself was accused of sorcery and falsehood. The Hadith foretells that Mujaddids, reformers, will appear in every century to revive Islam. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's revival of true Islam. Surely Allah will send for this ummah at the beginning of every century one who will renew its religion. Sunan Abu Dawud, Hadith 4291. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was no exception. His revival of true Islam and his defense of the Quran against Christian missionaries, Hindu reformers, and atheists led to opposition from within his own community. Historical examples of persecution against reformers. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal was imprisoned and flogged for refusing to accept false theological doctrines promoted by the ruling authorities. Imam Abu Hanifa was beaten and imprisoned for refusing to serve the rulers of his time. Ibn Taymiyyah was imprisoned multiple times for challenging religious innovations. Mansur al-Hallaj, a Sufi mystic, was executed for expressing spiritual truths that were misunderstood by religious scholars of his time. Shah Waliullah of India was fiercely opposed for attempting to revive the teachings of the Quran and Hadith. If suffering and opposition were proof of falsehood, would these great scholars and saints not have been considered false as well? If the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was slandered and persecuted, why do you expect that a Mujaddid would be accepted without resistance? Have you rejected him based on evidence or simply because of inherited beliefs? The hypocrisy of using state laws to define faith. Certain governments have declared Ahmadis as non-Muslims, but does a legal ruling determine faith? Is religious truth defined by state laws? If so, then do you think the Pharaoh was right in calling Moses, peace be upon him, a liar, and the Quraysh were right in persecuting the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him? Do people think that they will be left alone because they say we believe, and will not be tested? Indeed, we tested those before them, so that Allah may make evident those who are truthful and those who are liars. Quran 29:2-3. The disbelievers of Makkah declared the early Muslims as outcasts. They persecuted them, boycotted them, and drove them from their homes. Yet their suffering was not proof of falsehood. It was the greatest proof of their sincerity. Historical examples of persecution against the truthful. Hazrat Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, was tortured under the scorching sun, yet he remained steadfast. Hazrat Sumayya, may Allah be pleased with her, was martyred for refusing to renounce Islam. Did that make her an unbeliever? The early Muslims were boycotted in the valley of Abu Talib. Did their economic isolation mean they had lost their faith? The hypocrisy and self-interest of Qadiani leadership. The greatest betrayal of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's mission has come from within, from those who distorted his teachings for their own political and financial gain. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad categorically denied being a prophet, yet the Qadiani leadership later elevated his status to justify their khilafat. How could I claim prophethood when I believe in the finality of the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, with absolute certainty? Izala Awam, page 575. The silence of those who know the truth. Many Muslims recognize that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was truthful, yet fear speaking out. But silence in the face of falsehood is silent support for falsehood. The best jihad is to speak the truth in front of a tyrant ruler. Sunan Abi Dawud, Hadith number 4344. A call to reflection. This presentation invites all to ponder deeply. If opposition meant falsehood, would every prophet and reformer be considered false? How do you explain that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alone stood against Christian missionaries, Hindus and atheists? If the opponents of Islam praised his defense of the faith, should you not reconsider your opposition? Why do you blindly follow scholars who contradict the Quran and Hadith instead of seeking the truth for yourself? If you found this video insightful, help spread the message by subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss important content. This video was produced by Ahmadiyya Anjuman Ishaat Islam, Lahore, Badarwa, India.